What is going on, guys? So I got my I've been working at this for quite a while, and I finally have something that I think is ready to put out on the market. It is my debt breaker application, and I'm excited about this. This is something that I think will go ahead and help a lot of people, and allow them to prosper greatly. So here's the thing. This particular thing has a monthly budget calculator built into it. It has a debt breaking calculator built into it. It has a time management calculator built into it. And then this is something new that I added in, which is a credit score calculator as well as simulator. So it's able to go ahead and, simulate particular situations and changes to your credit depending on whether it's a good or a bad thing. And it gives you particular tips and also calculates what your score might be given the particular factors that you input on this screen here. Now I do want to show you how this would look live before I go ahead and explain what it works off as far as pricing. It is something that would be licensed. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. This is what it looks like on your desktop. Drag this screen over here since it's not showing that particular screen right now. Just a second here. Alright, so it will pop up something like this once you go ahead and double click on the particular application. I did go ahead and include a 30-day trial for people to trial it out and see if they like it. But once that 30-day trial expires, you would need to contact me which, would go ahead and bring you to me once you hit contact author. When you do that, it would go ahead and, provide you with my contact information so that I can give you a registration key, just like you would with any application that you download for your computer that is licensed. So for now, this is the trial version. So you would just go ahead and hit close, and then it would go ahead and open up the Excel sheet, and you would be able to use this particular app. Now, I opened up too many instances by mistake because I clicked the button a bunch of times. But once you go ahead and close the other Excel pieces, then it would open up fine. Now, here you would be able to enter in your monthly budget. Let's say, for example, your wages and tips. You wanted to go ahead and enter in that you get about $3,000 per month. So it would go ahead and calculate what that would be weekly for you automatically. And what's great about what I added on to this now is that even if you go here and you click and you delete this, well, guess what? It doesn't get messed up. So none of the formulas can be messed up now that I went ahead and added this particular layer of security to my Excel sheet. So it's unbreakable, which was something that I was worried about when I first came out with this. So there's no way that you can break this now that I've gone ahead and fixed this, which is nice because the formulas can't be messed up. So you would go ahead and, say, for example, enter in your fixed monthly expenses, enter in your fixed variable expenses, enter in your occasional expenses here monthly. And once you've gone ahead and done so, it'll break it down for you as far as totals are concerned on your occasional expenses, variable expenses, and things of that nature. Now, here you would enter in your total debts, like credit card minimums, things of that nature that you would pay monthly, car payments, student loans, you name it. You put that all in here, it'll figure out what it is monthly, and then it lets you know what that is weekly as well. Same thing with your savings goals. If you want to go ahead and have an emergency fund, retirement fund, other types of savings, you enter that in there. It's important to pay yourself first. What you're left with is essentially what you are left with, of course, which is income and expenses. This is how much money you'd have remaining, and that's how much you'd have remaining weekly. These are really cool because it gives you your debt ratios as well as your saving ratios. So your savings ratio would be 5% in this case. Your debt to income ratio would be 21%. And then here, this nice little thing will automatically populate depending on what your percentages are. It'll let you know, your overall status, whether you're doing a good job, what you should do to improve, or, what you should do to increase your savings or decrease your debt. Once you've gone ahead and done that, it'll tell you how you're doing with savings and tell you how you're doing with your debt. And then this is just a little, bar on the bottom that tells you, what the percentages are of expenses. If you move over to the next sheet, it gives you what's called the debt breaking calculator. And what it does is it allows you to put your debt name. It has a bunch of, instructions if you're confused about anything, so that it lets you know what each particular section of this particular Excel sheet means. You would put in your maximum credit, the debt balance. It tells you how much automatically is left as far as available credit. Here you would be able to change the date. So let's say, for example, you put in 5/25/2020. And then once you've done that, you can also pay things off by priority. So let's say, for example, if you wanted to pay this one off first, you could do that. However, I have a bunch of different strategies that I've created here that are common knowledge. They're just snowballing effects, really. And this has been around for years. But the idea is here that you would be able to pay off your debt and save a lot more money in interest. So here, for example, you can actually lower it to a desired level of utilization so that, you're not paying it off completely, but you are paying it down to what you'd like. So with credit, most people say that, you should probably pay off, about 30%, or keep at most 30%. So when you do that, this will automatically switch to reduce to. This is how much you would essentially pay in bills. So this is something that you would usually get right off your budget from the get-go. Whatever money you have left over to add on, you want to go ahead and include that. So if you can pay $700 in bills each month without it really affecting you, then your initial extra payment will jump up to 287. And with that being 287, then you would pay off your debt a lot faster. So here you can go ahead, and the default strategy is highest interest first. When you go ahead and you do that, you can switch to lowest balance first. I'll kind of just show you here what happened if you didn't have any extra payment. So if you didn't have any extra payments on your debt, it would say not available here, and you would pay about $14,000 of interest on these 3 pieces of debt right here. Now, once you go ahead and switch to highest interest first, then this will automatically calculate. It'll tell you when you'd have your debt completely paid off by, and it will tell you when you would have your debt paid down to the utilization amount or the desired amount. So right there you can see that you save over $10,000 almost in interest if you went ahead and used the highest interest first method. Now if you went and go ahead and you wanted to go ahead and do lowest balance first, then you would be able to see the changes there, and really it's not making a huge difference. If you were to go ahead and put one of these other strategies in, you can select highest priority, lowest priority, or if the amounts entered in table. But like I said, highest interest first is the recommended method, and that is what will save you the most amount of money. Once you go on to the next section here, you can skip over to debt breaking strategy. This is literally the same thing from the other screen. It's just a little bit more as far as showing you exactly how it works. So this just legit lays it out for you and shows you how it is that you're paying off this faster. So you're paying $492 on the Capital One for a while and only paying the minimums on the others. And then once you've paid this one off, then guess what? You take that balance and you switch it over to the Chase one, and now you're paying more on this one. And then guess what? Then you move it over to the next one until everything is completely paid off. Here, if you ever wanted to go ahead and add an additional amount, so let's say, for example, you got that $1,200 check from our homeboy Trump, you can add $1,200 there, and then guess what? Boom, additional payment added, you get out of debt sooner. So that is how that works. Now over here, this is something new that we added on, and this is actually really exciting because people have always asked me, how do you figure out what my credit score will be, or what would this do to my credit? Well, it took me a while, and I got a lot of help in doing this, friends, colleagues helping me with particular formulas, so shout out to them. But now what this allows you to do is it allows you to enter in your particular factors of credit and come up with a calculation. Now, mind you, I mean, this isn't, completely exact. It's an estimate. But if you were to enter in, that your highest credit limit is $500,000 and your credit balance is $5,000, and, accounts with missteps are 1, then you enter all this information in. You don't have to worry about clicking on this and messing anything up because it won't let you. You can only edit the fields that are here and allowed to be edited. You'd click submit for credit score, and then boom, this particular person, depending on what scenarios they put in, would be able to have their score calculated as a 636. And then here it gives you some generic tips on how to go ahead and improve your credit. Of course, most of them have to do with auto payments and paying on time and not missing any payments, because payment history is about 30%, 35% of your score. Also, utilization is very important, so the more you can pay down, the better. Then if you click see your tips, then this actually brings you to another screen that that you can see legit what you would have change if you were to go ahead and do particular things. So right here we have, it paying that amount. But let's say, for example, we added a 0 here. Once we go ahead and unclick there, then you'll notice this automatically changed. And because we brought our utilization down to 0, this would give us 165 points bonus. So it literally comes up with scenarios in which you could go ahead and find out how much of a difference doing particular things would either increase or decrease your score. Same thing with these are things you'd want to avoid, but let's say, for instance, you wanted to go ahead and not pay your bills for 12 months. Well, you'd see that your points would drop 60 points. Let's say 36 months, your score would drop that much as well. So these are just kind of estimators here to go ahead and give you an idea of how it works. The last screen here is the monthly time and money management sheet. Here, essentially, what would happen is you would put in your hourly rate, you would put in your overtime rate, and you would put in your hours for the week. This would automatically calculate how much money you would make in that week. And then, you can figure out what your total pay is, which is really useful for your monthly budget calculator. So I kind of, went ahead and created all of this so that you can tie it all in together and hopefully, eventually get out of debt somehow. So that's that. So I'll go ahead and lower that for now. Now I'll kind of explain how this works. So if you go to mrthen.biz/debt-breaker, it will go ahead and show you, all of the screens that I kind of went through. It breaks them down. And then it tells you how these things would work as far as licensing. So the evaluation license, which you can get directly off of my website for free, is 30 days, and it gives you a 30-day free trial. So everybody can try it for free. There are a few different consumer licenses. For instance, the consumer license doesn't have any changes to the logos, brands, anything like that. It is literally just the Excel sheet. You can use it and use it forever, and there's no annual renewal fees or anything like that. You would just be able to use the software. Whenever there's an update, I would let you know, and then you would get a new version of that. It's $97. The small business license is for people who are interested in white labeling. It is for companies that want to go ahead and put their own logo on this particular Excel sheet and sell it to their clients. This would go ahead and have a $247 price tag initially. That is for 1 year, and it includes, if you notice here, 30 licenses. So it would include 30 licenses that you would be able to redistribute to other people in order for them to use it, and it would have full customization. So it wouldn't say Debt Breaker, it wouldn't say Mr. Then Consulting, it wouldn't say any of that information on there. It would have your colors, your logo, things of that nature. And then if you needed any additional licenses on top of the 30, then it would be $15 each. That's annual. So in order to renew here annually with the small business license, once the year has passed, you need to come here and you'd need to subscribe for an annual license renewal, which is only $65 yearly. And then you could unsubscribe here if ever you wanted to. Now the Small Business Pro is $147. It is for a year. And what it does is it allows you to have, your own colors added on to the particular Debt Breaker logo. And instead of it saying by Mr. Then Consulting, it would say by your company name there. And then we'd put your colors on the logos and things of that nature. It would still say in the terms and conditions, Mr. Then Consulting. You would just be co-branding with the Debt Breaker application. And the way that it works is that you would get 15 licenses included on there. And then if you ever needed any others, it would be $5 for every additional license. So very simple. I try to make this as easy as possible. If you did have that one, you would come here and renew. Now the renewal on the Business Pro is a little bit more expensive. It's $85 per year, but you're getting a lot lower of an initial cost. Um, and this is because it still includes my logos and stuff like that. So this is how it works. If you did want to go ahead and get 2 or more licenses with the Business Pro, you can do that at a discounted rate. For 2 of them, it would be $197. That just means that you can use the master copy of what it's called on more than on 2 computers or more. And then you would go ahead and you'd be able to click on try it now for free. So I'll walk you guys through the whole thing here. No, that's not right. So I gotta fix that. But you could always just come back. I gotta fix the link on that particular thing there. Once this finishes loading, you would just go here. There it is there, Debt Breaker. Got a cool little load up screen there. Once you're in here, you can see the screenshots and things of that nature, and then you'll see that there's a 30-day free trial. You click on license options, you can click on trial. If you know that you're ready to buy, you can click on consumer and it'll show $97. You can click on small business and it will show the $247. Or you can click on Business Pro and it will show the $147. So that's all it is. You can then add it to cart and you're ready to go. So I just wanted to go ahead and express that information there, give you guys some exciting news because it's out of beta, I guess you can call it. Took me a while to do. Yesterday I got really excited and started working on this endlessly, and it's ready. So that's all I wanted to do, just kind of express that information, go live real quick and teach you guys what I got going on. All right, have a good rest of your day.